Hi, I'm Frankie, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Microsoft Foundry Guardrails in 5 minutes. So what is a guardrail? A guardrail is just a collection of controls to manage risks for AI agents and models. What is control? A control is just a single risk category rule. What is an intervention point? An intervention point is the moment in the request response lifecycle where content is scanned. These are all going to be necessary when it comes to these guardrails. Now, a guardrail will have 4 different kinds of harm categories. These are different categories that take place. There's hate, violence, sexual content, self-harm. There's a blocking threshold that needs to be met by a guardrail in order to decide to let something through or not let something through for any of these 4 categories. The way that works is that you'll have the lowest blocking threshold, which is least restrictive, lowest filtering. You'll have the medium blocking threshold, which is the default, and you'll have medium filtering for all the 4 categories. And you'll have the highest blocking, which is most restrictive with the highest set of filtering. You can create guardrails that have different varieties of low, medium, high blocking across the different categories based on your use case. If you do want any of these categories to be completely off, because even with low blocking, there's still a level of extreme hate, violence, sexual content, or self-harm that still won't be let through by your agent. If you want it to be completely off, you have to get specific approval from Microsoft. So there's 4 intervention points, right? The specific point at which content is scanned. Those take place when the user provides a prompt or input of some sort. The model then responds, your agent or the model, with some tool call that it thinks it should have. It provides some output tokens of, I'm going to call this tool, and that process of calling or deciding what tool to use also will get scanned. The tool call response will also be scanned for any of the risk categories, just in case the response could have any harm to it. And then the output that ends up being created by the agent after that tool call response comes back and is used as additional context to create that output. Just as a heads up, at the time of recording, the input and output is generally available, but any of the tool call, tool response, scanning for these risk factors is still currently in preview in case something doesn't work as expected. Where can this be applied? Where can a guardrail actually be associated with you in Microsoft Foundry? It's going to be on a model where you can apply a guardrail to a specific deployed model that you have. You can assign a guardrail to an agent, specifically to some agent in all of its versions that it'll have. When you do set up guardrails, by default, there's always the default guardrail, which is medium for all of the categories. But if you create some sort of custom guardrail and you associate it with a model, then that model, all solutions that use that model will have that guardrail. But if you create an agent and that agent gets a custom guardrail, even if that agent gets a custom guardrail with a model that has a different custom guardrail, the agent custom guardrail will win out. So just to let you know how that hierarchy is going to work. So when should you use a custom guardrail that you'll create? Really only if your use case requires it. Requires you changing any of the risk categories for your specific needs. Some examples of this might be a mental health chatbot. So there is some chatbot that's working with patients who need to clinicians need to allow for the self-harm category to be low to properly care for their patients. There might be a law enforcement agent where it needs to allow for low blocking of sexual content and violence so that the law enforcement agents can actually do their jobs well by accessing the unfiltered crime scene or explicit material. There could be a news blog or a platform that has opinions that could be widespread or could be very specific, could involve hate speech in some way, and because it's controversial, they might allow for low blocking in the hate category. And there could be on the opposite end where you might have an elementary school or middle school with some sort of chatbot and you want to protect those kids. So you'd have high blocking for all of the categories to make sure that that custom guardrail is super safe for whatever that chatbot is doing with interacting with those kids. If you want to learn more about Guardrails, you can check out the Guardrail docs. I'll have this link in the description. You can also join the Azure Innovation Station online free community. There's a link on the screen. I'll also have it in the description. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I answer every comment to help as many people as I can. If this video was helpful for you, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. As always, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.